Hi there. Hi there. Mystery Baker here. Hope you're all doing well. Um, this is kind of another walk through while we chat. If there is anybody that turns up, I'm not expecting anybody, but it's a demonstration of how I apply the marzipan to the Christmas cake, and a few questions that have been asked over the period of time when I've been making my tutorials on Christmas cakes. Okay, so I get lots of questions all the time, and this is just going to be a run through. And if you've got if anybody does come on, they can ask their question as well. I've also got questions from my subscribers and other people, because not everybody who asks a question is a subscriber, but I don't mind answering whatsoever. So a big hi, big welcome. First things first, I have two dogs and they might bark. So don't be alarmed. Okay, please don't be alarmed. And the second thing is, I'm really still nervous. I'm not used to it, but I'll get used to it. Okay, I will get used to it. I know I will. So I'm just going to basically just do a quick rundown first of what I've got here and what I've got set up. So this is my Christmas cake. This one here. This one here. It's my Christmas cake. I've done a few little gifts as well. That's one there that is waiting to be fed. So I'll move that one out of the way. And over here is the one we're going to be dealing with today. It's a little bit smaller, but it's a gift. It's a gift. And so basically, this is the one that I'll be covering in the fondant, okay? This is the one I'll be covering in the fondant. So I'm going to move this little chappy away. Actually, in my last live, somebody asked me, I think her name was Natalie Finnis. She asked me when I'm going to be decorating this one. And my answer is, this one here, I'm going to be making it a naked Christmas cake with this one. This is mine. And I'm going to be making homemade marzipan. So that's the tutorial that'll be coming up shortly. Okay, so I'll be making my homemade marzipan. All right. So I'm going to move that one out of the way too. Okay, so let's just move that out of the way. Right. If there is anybody there, if you just give me a thumbs up so I know that you're there, that would really be helpful. I hope I've got comments on. I have no clue. Just a thumbs up. You don't have to speak or anything. Just a big thumbs up to say that you can hear me first of all. Hi, Natalie Finnis. Hello there. Welcome. Welcome, Natalie. And can you hear me okay? Hi, Janet. Hi, Janet. Nice to see you all there. Thank you. Right, that's given me a little bit of confidence and spurred me on. Stay tuned. Right, okay. So, um, that's the cake. This is a gift, okay? And with gifts, I don't use homemade marzipan because you can buy it ready rolled. This is one. It's a yellow marzipan. And yeah, it'll do. So this is the cake that we'll be decorating today with the marzipan, all right? And what I've done is I got some brandy at first, and with a brush, I just soaked all around the cake. Just soaked with the brandy all the way around. Okay, now I've got it on a turntable, but believe me, you don't need one. I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. So, and then after that, because I'm fast forwarding certain stages because I don't want to bore you and make it a very long drawn out tutorial. Okay. And this is really easy to do. So the second stage is to apply an apricot conserve. Now, I use apricot conserve, but you don't need to. Okay? You can use marmalade. Okay, marmalade. You can use jam to look. I'm not a food snob. You know, it doesn't matter as long as you don't over apply the jam. The reason I use apricot conserve is because it has a very mild taste that doesn't change the Christmas cake. So if you are using a strawberry jam, for example, just be very lightly with it. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. And if you're using marmalade, it's absolutely fine because there's orange candied peel and lemon candied peel in this particular cake. Okay, so what I've done is I've just brushed it, and basically it's just to give it a sticky surface so that the marzipan can, you know, apply too easy. Okay, so let's move you out of the way. All right, marzipan. I do have a question from, and I will get to you. I'll just go through this, and then if you've got any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll have no problem answering your questions, and I have subscriber questions here. So, Jomo, Jomo asked, what's the difference between almond paste and marzipan? All right, in the UK, there's not a lot of difference between either. I could call it almond paste. I call it marzipan. But in Europe and the States, generally, and it's only generally, almond paste has less sugar, basically. Okay, marzipan has a higher ratio of sugar, and when you're making fresh marzipan, that does help. Okay, because when you're making fresh marzipan, it adds to the longevity and it preserves the marzipan for longer. But the ready roll, you don't need to worry because all of the preservatives have been packed in. I hope that kind of covers it. Oh, also with the marzipan, you can add colorings to it. Okay, with almond paste, with the almond paste or almond flour, or the ground almonds, if you make almond paste with less sugar, it's not as easy to mold into like little fruits or little shapes. You can make marzipan shapes and things like that. But with our UK marzipan with more sugar added, it's a lot smoother and easier to work with. Okay, so just to run through, I've got my Christmas cake. I've just basically added a little bit of brandy. You don't have to if you don't want the alcohol in there. And then topped it off with a light coating of apricot conserve. But again, marmalade or jam. Look, it's your cake. You do whatever you want. So let's start with the marzipan, shall we? Okay, let's have a look and see if anybody's here. Hi everybody, how are you all doing? You all ready for Christmas? It's this time of year that it's so much to do in so little time, isn't it? But I hope you take the time to get this Christmas cake done. And there's still time to make yours if you haven't already. So there is my marzipan. I'll show you the packet it came in. It's a golden marzipan, and this is just, it's a shop brand. It's Morrison's. Morrison's, I don't know if you've got a Morrison's near you. It's really difficult to pick up these products lately. I don't know if you're finding the same. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to warm it up. So first of all, make sure that your work surface is looking good, okay? Hi. You're loud and clear. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness, Natalie. Thank you. Make sure your work surface is squeaky clean, because this is a very sticky product and you don't want lint and fluff and bits of crumbs going in there. All right, just a little question. Just see, oh, there's 8 people. Hi, everybody. Oh, how wonderful. Oh, do you know, it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. Have you got your Christmas tunes on? Have you got yourself a cuppa? Are you sitting comfortably? Okay, so you'll need icing sugar. Now, I've got a very large bag. You don't need to use a very large bag of icing sugar, but make sure your work surfaces are squeaky clean. Tip number 1. So I'm going to get some icing sugar out to dust the surface. You don't roll marzipan with the flour. You use icing sugar. I'm just going to put a little bit out there for now. Okay, is everybody? You've made 2, Janet. Oh, you've got your coffee and you're sitting comfy. Do you know what? Perfect. That's exactly what I would be doing if I wasn't on my live. Okay, so I don't need all of that. I've put a little bit too much on, but you do need quite a bit, okay? Don't put too much on because you don't want to dry your marzipan out, but you need a good surface there, a workable surface. So I've got my marzipan and my rolling pin. And before we go, I'm going to be technical. I don't normally, but hey. Bring that over, can you see? I'm going to measure it. And this is a tape measure. And I won it out. Well, I didn't win it. I got it out of a Christmas cracker. Perfect for my measuring. So I don't normally do this, but for my beginners, I will. And you just need to measure your cake approximately. And it's about 10 inches. So that's all the way around. So it just gives you an idea of how much marzipan you need to roll out. Also, here's another question I get often asked. Let me see if I can find who's asked me it. Oh, I have to look at my pad. Just look at my pad. Try and find it. Sorry about this. I just need to find this question because it's important for my beginners. Where is it? Oh, how much fondant or marzipan do I need to cover a cake? Very good question. And this is not set in stone, believe me, but this is how I kind of operate. This is not a 6-inch cake. It's a little bit smaller, but and we're going to go with a 6-inch. If it's about 2 to 3 inches high, you'll need between 350, 400 grams of fondant or marzipan. Roundabout. You might get a little bit of wastage, but it doesn't matter because you can just wrap it in cling film, put it in an airtight container, and you can save it for later. Same with the fondant. So for an 8-inch, I'm trying to rack my brain. For an 8-inch, about 3 inches high, you'll need about 500 grams of marzipan and fondant. And for a 10-inch, I would say 650 to 700 grams, okay, of marzipan or fondant. So if you've got a pen, write that down because it's really something that not many people tell you, but I thought I would because I thought that was a good idea. That's my measurements, okay? If you look at other creators, they'll probably have a different idea, but that's mine, okay? So, a little bit here, so I'm going to put a little bit of icing sugar. Please don't use flour on your marzipan. A little bit of icing sugar on my rolling pin, and I'm picking up. And I'm just going to start rolling. And I'm sorry if I'm in your way because I know. So I kind of start in the middle of the rolling pin, of the marzipan, and push out backwards and forwards, if that's picking up. And I turn as I go. Hello, hello. Hi, I made my own marzipan. Excellent! And I will be doing a tutorial for anybody else who doesn't know how to make marzipan. And that will be coming soon. But this is ready to roll because these are for gifts and not everybody wants homemade marzipan. And it's a lot easier, especially when you've got a few to do. Okay. So I'm rolling out and I'm turning as I go, because you don't want it to stick. Okay? Oh. And you're wanting about, I would say, thickness, because it's marzipan, it's different to fondant. So I would say about 5 mils to 7 mils thick. All right, 5 to 7. 5 to 7. So I'm quite happy with that. And what I tend to do is, because I'll measure it, sorry. I'll measure it for you. Yeah, it's about 10 inches. I'm showing off now, aren't I? It's about 10 inches, yeah. But I just wanted to prove that you can measure it if you want. Any more questions before I get this marzipan on the cake? I'm sorry if I seem to be lagging, but my questions don't come up all the time. They come up every now and then. And while I'm waiting, I have a few other questions. Okay. Where's the next question? Renza D'Souza, bless her, when we were on my last live, she asked me, and I didn't have time to answer. She asked me, where do I place the cake in the oven? Well, if you follow my tutorials, you'll know that I put my greaseproof paper a little bit double the size in height of the cake tin. So just move it down a tray. Okay, you just don't want it, you don't want the parchment paper touching the ceiling of your oven. And likewise, don't put it on the bottom. Don't let that cake hit the bottom of your oven, or you might have a problem. Okay, now I have more questions and I will get to them. I promise you I will, because some of my lovely subscribers did send me some questions. But if you can just understand, I need to get this on the cake. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that marzipan there. And it's sticky. And because I've applied the conserve, or you can use jam, it's a sticky medium. So this will adhere to that. So I'm going to pick up my marzipan. And I'm going to see if it's in, oh, it's not in shot. Let me see. Let me see. Can you see that okay? Okay. So, and we just get the roundabout. I'm kind of at an awkward angle. Actually, let me just roll it a little bit thinner. And maybe a little bit. I want to be sure. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Ah, dear. So, find out kind of where you want it and just roll that on like so. Can you see what I've done there? Use the rolling pin. Now I have a smoother. Okay. And what I do now is, I hope this is picking up, but I kind of polish the top. We polish the top first to make it firm. All right. All right. Like so. I hope that's picking up there. And then bringing it in a little. Yeah. And then we lift the fondant out and push down with our hands as we go round. Okay, so we're lifting and pushing down as we go. All right. I can't see round the other way, but you know, like that. If there's a little bit of, like here, can you see? There's a little bit of, all you do, little crack there, is you just, it's very hot in my kitchen, is you just put some paste there. All right? All right. So that's down. And then what my little trick is to do is to push the marzipan around in like that. In like that before I cut it. So with a pizza cutter, go in and around. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit missing. We can patch. We can patch. I can't get round there, but I can't see behind me. Okay. All right. Like so. And if there's a little bit there, this is good. I'm glad this isn't perfect, because we can just patch like so. And then with your smoother, go around and smooth like that. And you want to smooth it all the way around. And I kind of go down into it like so. There's a little bit more, so you use a bit more. And you don't need any water. Try not to apply water to it. And then just smooth that on like so. And then, now that's applied, I would normally give that another polish, but the camera is in the way. And what you can do, I add my fondant, not straight away. I usually give it about, I would say half an hour before I do apply my fondant. So while I'm just waiting here, I've got a few, anybody got any questions? Sorry, hi. Hi everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Oh, right, question. Okay. It's from Kitty Catty. She said, what's the difference between Muscovado and dark brown sugar. Hi, you haven't got to smooth that. Right, I'll look at that question because it's just gone off. I'll look at that question again. What's the difference between Muscovado sugar and dark brown sugar? Well, dark brown sugar, would you believe, they both have kind of a wet, sandy look to it, if you can understand. But dark brown sugar is just refined white sugar with molasses added to it, or black treacle as we know it. Muscovado, it's just a less refined sugar, and it retains a lot more of that molasses that's applied to it. Can I just think? There is a difference, but it's only slight to the to the experts. It's got the Muscovado has a slightly more pronounced caramel and toffee note. Okay, it's kind of got a more, yeah, it's a little bit richer, but to us, you probably wouldn't notice. Okay, I use Muscovado, but you can use dark brown sugar. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm just going to get a drink. Just bear with me. It's so hot in my kitchen. I hope these questions pop back up so I can maybe read them. Hello, everyone. Hope you are all doing well. A smoother. I did see a question earlier about smoothers. What could you use? I mean, you can use your hands. I mean, I know it's not the best, but you can use your hands. Just make sure you put icing sugar on, and you can use another ball of marzipan as well. That can sometimes happen. And there is your cake marzipan. I mean, I would normally smooth it more so it's nice and polished and fill in some of any of that. But it's so tight I can't get in, and I don't want to ruin this shot. So I've got a few questions from my subscribers here. Mahesawari Paul asks that she's following my recipe and she's soaking the fruit today and she's going to be baking it tomorrow. And she said that the alcohol that she's added makes it look a little bit dry. It shouldn't really be dry. Look, it's dried fruit. And alcohol will evaporate. Anything on the outside will evaporate, but it will penetrate the fruit and it will make it more succulent. Okay, it will be less dry. Okay, but if you're worried, add another tablespoon of brandy, but don't overload your fruit because it gets too wet. Then it takes longer in the oven to bake, and guess what? If it takes longer, it could burn. Okay, hope that helps you there, Maswari. And hi to Julie Brailsford. I thought I'd give her a shout out if she's on today at all. So basically, you can, once you decorate, I mean, I've got this ribbon here. You could decorate it with marzipan and use a ribbon. I got these from Amazon. And you just pin it round. I kind of just, I mean, if it was decorated with fondant, you would put it round like so and pin it at the back, or you can use edible glue to pin the back there. So that's basically covering it in fondant, and I would wait, as I say, half an hour before I apply apply the marzipan, and leave it half an hour before I apply the fondant. And it usually takes about half an hour by the time you get cleared away and get your fondant out and things like that. But the thing about fondant, now I at the moment can only get hold of Dr. Urka soft fondant icing. Struggling to get hold of my usual brand, but I've got it. And again, to cover a 6-inch, you'll need around about 400 grams. Oh, hi. Brilliant. And I've never thought. Oh, you've never thought to patch. It's easy. Thank you, Masari. Go ahead and bake that cake, Masari. I hope I'm not butchering your names. Yeah. watch it, Natalie, because, and don't use any water, because if you've just done it, it's still soft. I mean, I will give this a polish off camera because, you know, I like to. But just make sure if there is any cracks, this is not as important as the covering with fondant, okay? Now, your fondant. How do I apply the fondant to the cake? I just use a brush and I just add some sterilized water, which is cool boiled water. And I just brush it on very gently, don't make it wet, and add it with water. And then I place the fondant over the cake. I hope that you're understanding that. 6-inch cake, you'll need about between 2.5 and 3 inches high. You'll need about 450 maybe grams of fondant or marzipan. For an 8-inch, you'll need around about 500, maybe 6. I mean, don't underbuy. Buy a little bit more because you just don't know how thin or thick you roll your fondant. The fondant wants to be about 0.5 centimetre in thickness to 8 millimeters. Sorry, yeah, to 8 millimeters. The reason why I always say 8 millimeters is you don't want to roll it too thin because it can tear. And I think I did that actually. Do you know what? I'm going to be honest. I think I overrolled it. I should have left it alone, but I panicked because I thought, no, I'll roll it a bit thinner. And it tore. See? I'm not perfect. That's what my husband says. Right. Any other questions about the cake? And I will just... yes, get that cake done, Mazari. And I think it's Maheswari, Paul. Yes, get that cake done, my love. And yeah, don't worry, it's dried fruit. Anything on the surface of that fruit, because it's alcohol, will basically absorb and evaporate. Sorry, I might have missed this, but how soon after marzipaning can you ice it? Thank you for your assurance. Yes. How soon? Yeah, well, I would leave it about half an hour at the minimum. But by the time you basically clear away, because look at all the mess I make. By the time you clear away, it's round about half an hour anyway. Just let it to go off ever so slightly. It should be okay if you're running late and you need to be speedy. But just give it half an hour, clear away, tidy around, and then start using your fondant. I hope that is okay. Now I'm just looking here. Oh, for my hot climate, ladies and gentlemen, fondant. I'm going to get a little bit technical. Just a little bit technical. Because I'm a bit of a foodie nerd. All right. In hotter climates, I know a lot of my India, Australia, and humid climates, they're always worried about the fondant and sweating of cakes. And in Australia, for example, right now, it's summer. All right. It's the hottest time of the year. So fondant is a very volatile substance because it's full of sugar. Now I'm not going to go into too much technical, but it's hygroscopic. Sorry, I missed that question, but I will get back to you. Sorry about that. I hope you understand. I actually film off my phone. It's nothing fancy. So if my cakes always look a bit meh, it's because I'm just filming off my phone. I don't have a fancy camera. I can't adjust it and make it look lovely. Right. Sugar is hygroscopic, and so is fondant because it's made predominantly with sugar. And basically what that means is it can absorb humidity, water from the air. All right. So if you're in those climates and you're dealing with fondant and it's extremely humid, I mean, it can get humid here actually. We have humid days. What I suggest you do is, first of all, use cornstarch rather than icing sugar to roll your fondant out with. All right. Because although it's Still, cornstarch is probably hygroscopic as well, but absorbing humidity from the air. But it's less likely, because if you use cornstarch, it will stop the sweating. Another thing that I use in humid weather, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's called white vegetable block. You can get it in a block. And also, I think in America they call it shortening. I put a little bit of shortening on my hands and I knead the fondant, and it gives it a waterproof lubricant and will stop or reduce the sweating of the fondant. I'm babbling now. I'm going too technical. So, who else is on? Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I just thought I'd do a little bit of a quick live, just showing you me actually applying my marzipan. It doesn't have to be perfect. Not as perfect as it does when you apply the fondant. And I might do another tutorial showing you how to apply fondant to a cake. I have some videos already there, but if you want to, if you've got any questions right now, feel free. If I haven't answered you, please feel free to ask again. When I'm filming on my phone, the questions come up for about 3 seconds and then they fade out. I hope you're. Hi, Natalie Finners. Showing us how to make it with royal icing. Royal icing, eh? Okay, Janet and Natalie. Janet, I can. I don't. The reason why I say I can is because I don't actually like royal icing. And yeah, I might do one next year as a gift. When I'm making my gift Christmas cakes, I might show you how I deal with royal icing. I have used it numerous times, don't worry. But I'm a home baker, Janet, and everything you see and everything I make, I'm either eating it or I'm giving it as gifts. So if I don't like something, I tend to not make it, if you understand me. I hope that makes any sense. Right. I think I'm about done, but if there's any more questions here, feel free. If I've missed your question, just put it in the description box below and I will definitely get back to you. I'm just seeing if there are any more subscriber messages here. Oh, right. Homemade marzipan. I have a question. I didn't write I don't know if it's a lady or gentleman. I didn't write the name down, but they asked me about homemade marzipan. Right, okay. There's different ways to make it. And my way is the old-fashioned way, unfortunately. Yes, you understand, Janet. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, but that's not to say I'll never do it. I'll just say maybe next year when I do it as a gift, I will use royal icing. Just for you, Janet, just for you. What was I saying there? Oh, yeah. There's different ways to make homemade marzipan. All right, there's lots. And I do it the old-fashioned way. And you might not like my way. Because I use egg. All right? But don't worry about using an egg. It's not as bad as you think. It's the most amazing flavor, and I've tried all the other methods. I've tried all of the pasteurized eggs. I've tried glycerine. I've tried them all, and I don't like them. Oh, thank you. And thank you, Janet. And thank everybody for just joining me today. I mean, come on. It's a Sunday. It's awful. It's miserable out there. I don't know what it's like with you. But I just thought, let's just do another live and get my confidence kind of trying to grow and me feeling a little bit less nervous. Because the more I do, I know I will probably feel a lot better. And I'll be a little bit better at it. Oh, you're really enjoying it? Oh. Oh, good. Get that. I hope you've got a coffee or a little bit of brandy in it. Never goes amiss, a little bit of brandy. What was I saying? Yeah, I've made homemade marzipan. Let me just bring my other cake out here. I've moved this out of the way because I've made a lot of mess. Sorry. I've made different methods. And my way is the tastiest, all right? I love my food. Now, this is a cake I've made as a gift. Now, this one hasn't been fed at all. It hasn't been fed. Can you see? I hope that's picking up. And this again is going to be another gift. I'll feed that tonight when I've got the time. Unless you want to see me feed it now. But that's another one I have there. I mean, the great thing about the 6-inch cake, they're ideal for gifts because you can make the 8-inch cake mixture or the 10-inch cake mixture that I've got on my channel, and you can do numerous cakes. Hello, Jane. Hi, I missed the bottom part. What is the red and white thing? All right, okay. Sorry. I just wanted to show you my ribbons. I've got a few actually. I'll bring them over. I'm a big fan of Amazon. I don't know about you guys, but they come in all these wonderful, and you get a few in. I mean, there's another section. I've took another section out here. Hang on. Can you see all of those pretty colours? I won't use all of them, but they'll come in year after year. And I just cut it to size, and it'll fit round a 10-12-inch cake, to be fair. So that's what it is. Sometimes when I cover with fondant, I just finish with a ribbon for gifts. For my cake, if I'm decorating it, I probably go a little bit over the top. But this year I'm not. I'm going very basic. It's going to be a naked Christmas cake, and I will do a tutorial on how I do that using and making my own marzipan, and that will be coming next week. I'll do it next week for you. So hit that bell if you haven't already. Hit like if you haven't already. It really does help my channel, grow. But I'm quite happy that you're just here, to be fair. Hit the bell if you've liked the video. How's about that? I think that might work better. If you haven't, you don't have to. Right. So that is my cake here. Just turn it over. That's it on its other side. And that was the cake I made in my live yesterday. Sorry, not yesterday, Thursday. That was the cake I made, the 6-inch. And if you haven't seen how I made this Christmas cake, check that video out. I kind of do a frequently asked questions, chat with me alongside baking the cake. It was very nerve-wracking because I didn't want to leave anything out, but I got through it and I did it. And that's the cake there. How magical does it look? It's a nice depth. It's a very nice depth, and it's a wonderful colour, and it will go darker when I start feeding it. So I thought I'd just show you that. But I will show you how to make my own marzipan, and I'll do that next week because I'll be doing it when I'm really doing it. I'm not making one just for a video. I'm making mine. It's my cake, and I will ice it when I think it's ready to be iced, because with it having raw egg in, now don't be frightened about raw egg. It works. I've been doing it for years and I'm still here. The raw egg is better than adding glycerin and corn syrups, and it's just not as natural, and it's really crunchy, almondy. It's just so good. Okay, so before I go, I don't know if there's any more questions. Oh, if you're making toppers for your cake, I'll bring in the little one I made the other week. He's my little Steiff bear. How adorable. And I made him from fondant. And how I change the consistency is by adding, hello. Yes. Sorry, I didn't quite catch all of it, but yes, I totally understand that. I'll get the rest. I'll just get the bottom part of that question. Where am I? Yeah, I add CMC, which is Tylose powder. People have asked me, what's CMC, what's Tylose powder? They're both the same thing. Hello. No, that's absolutely fine, Janet. Hi, Jackie. Oh, I just missed your question, Jackie, but it'll pop up again. I'm sure it will. And what happens is when you add a little bit of, I mean, look, I've got a big bag there. You don't need that. A little goes a long way, but adding a small quantity of CMC to your fondant changes like the molecular structure and it becomes more like modeling clay. Oh, I talk too much. I need a drink. I want a brandy, but I've only got water. It's just water. I'm hoping to see the next question. I hope I haven't bored you today, guys. But it's more for questions. I know a lot of people ask me questions, and by doing a little video, it just gets you to see, you know, to see what I'm doing and answer the questions all in one, okay? I'm just waiting for your questions to come back up. Absolute nightmare why they're not coming up. It's not really helpful, is it? But yes, the holes in the cake, it's normal. It's absolutely normal. It's quite normal. I mean, there's not loads. I mean, one of them's got holes in the cake because I've put holes in to feed it brandy. But no, it's just a gentle night. And the fruit is all the way spread all the way through the cake evenly. It hasn't dropped. It's not just sitting in the bottom. And that's why I use plain flour and not self-raising. And if you watch my demonstration that I did yesterday, you'll see the importance of coating all of that fruit with the cake mixture. It does avoid the sinking of the fruit. And I know that I haven't had a problem. None of them. I've had maybe 600 responses to my Christmas cakes, and not one person has said, I tried your recipe and the fruit dropped. Not one. Touch wood. Touch wood. And I've got another little cake topper here. It's my gingerbread man. I'll just sit him up there. Hello. I'll sit him in the background. Well, thank you, everybody. It's not coming up with the questions. I just want to wish everyone a happy Christmas. I've got some other tutorials, not just Christmas cakes coming up, and I just want to share that here right now. I'm going to make my version of a banoffee pie. And I think at Christmas time, when you have family around, you want something quick, you want something easy, but you also want something fun. And it's great for the family. In fact, get the family involved to make it. How's about that? And also, because we're on the almond trail, ground almonds. I've got my ground almonds here ready for my homemade marzipan. I'm going to make some Bakewell tarts, but I'm going to make some miniature ones. So they're great for like a buffet. If you're having a few people over, God willing, if you're having a few people over, you can make them as little individual tartlets rather than one big Bakewell tart. Hi. You have your own almond tree, Jackie. You have your own almond tree? Janet, I saw your question and it just went off. Are you talking about these little cuties? Are you talking about these? If you are, they are adorable, aren't they? And I have a full tutorial how I made it. It's my first ever Steiff Bear. I've never done one before. I didn't do a rehearsal. You know, a lot of creators do rehearsals. Just when you're making them. Yes, give it a go, Janet. I will show you, Janet. Hold on. Janet, hold on. Oh, where have I put it? Oh, I can't find it. But my CMC Tylose powder, I've just had it a moment ago and it's just vanished. But it will change the molecular structure of your fondant and it makes it more like modeling clay. It's easier to work with. So pick a little tiny jar up. You don't need a big one. Hi, Brenda. The bears are beautiful. Oh, thank you very much. That's my little Steiff bear. He just decided, when I was making him, I thought, do you know what? He looks like a Steiff bear. I'm going to make him a Steiff bear. And I thought he'd look gorgeous adorning your Christmas cake. Don't be frightened. Those who are making your Christmas cake, it might be the best opportunity to get into fondant because once you do, you will not stop. It's delightful. It's a great hobby. You don't have to pay people a lot of money to do your cakes for you. You can do them for your family. Start small, just practice. Practice makes perfect. Maybe doing some cupcakes with little pieces of fondant because you're using smaller amounts. My polar bear, Janet. Oh, that was one of my first tutorials, Janet. I was very nervous. And that's perfect for beginners because it doesn't involve any manipulation or modeling as such. It's just balls and sausages. Oh dear, that sounds awful, but basically rolling balls and making sausage shapes. That's what I meant. Gosh. I've never used fondant before. Don't know how to use it. Okay. Well, I might do in the new year some basics. Have a look on my channel. Janet, I know that was wrong. That was sounded all wrong. Have a look on my channel and some of my older videos because I do go right to the back to the basics of getting used to fondant. And it's not very expensive. You don't need to buy professional fondant. Shop store-bought fondant. This is a little bit pricey for me. I wouldn't normally pay that. But my store is Tesco, Morrison's, and there's an Asda. And I just buy their version. And it's fantastic. Okay? Because it's cheap, it's reasonable. If you make a mistake, it's no loss. And you can buy colorings and things. But have a look at my old videos because I will go right the way back to basics. So... Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm exhausted. I don't need to go to the gym. The stress of doing a live. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I really enjoyed speaking to you. I can't believe there's so many people come and watched it. To be honest, I'm a realist and I don't expect a lot of people to be that interested, but I'm so glad that you came. Okay, I'm pleased. Just have another drink. Any more questions and then I will let you go and get back to your family, put your feet up, have a shower, bubble bath. Why not? Bubble bath. That sounds good to me. Oh dear. Yes. So that's my marzipan. And when I'm all tidied up and everything, I will cover it with fondant. And when I get to the bigger cake, I will do a tutorial. It might not be alive, okay? Because it's very stressful, as I found out doing a Christmas cake. It's very stressful answering questions and demonstrating when I'm not used to it. Not like in this forum anyway, okay? So I might do, my tutorial might just be about, you know, what's the word? I'm getting flustered. Just a video. So I think I've answered all of the questions that people have asked me. Yeah, there's another hi. Thank you, Brenda. You were glad. And I'm glad that you came, Brenda. And I know that you joined me on Instagram as well, and thank you for that. Look, I have an Instagram account, and it's not a professional one. It's been brilliant. Hopefully I'll be at the next one. Oh, thank you. So I'm going to go. I suggest you all do the same. Go back to your families and enjoy your afternoon with everyone. And if you are alone today, at least you've been with me. Okay. Thanks for your time, everyone. Bye.